Learning about wine is like learning another language. It has its own world of terminology and names that could fill a dictionary. But just like a foreign language, you don't need to know every word to communicate effectively. When it comes to discussing wine with your tables, you really only need the basics. The wine equivalents of, "Hi, how are you? Please, thank you. And where's the bathroom?" Most of the time, wine is categorized into red, white, and rosé. Red and white are the most common, so let's focus on those. We're going to learn the names of 9 common types of wine, and you'll need to remember if each is a red or a white. Here are the 4 white wines that you are most likely to find on all wine lists. Sauvignon Blanc. Remember that Sauvignon Blanc is a white wine because blanc means white in French. Blanc also sounds like blank, as in a blank canvas, which is also usually white. Pinot Gris or Pinot Grigio. It's the same wine, but with different names. Remember that these are white wines because gris means gray in French, and grigio means gray in Italian. Chardonnay. When you hear the word Chardonnay, think of the phrase charred in butter. This will help you remember that Chardonnay is the color of butter. Conveniently enough, it usually has a buttery taste. Riesling. Think of Reese Witherspoon when you hear the word Riesling. This will help you remember that it's not only white, but often sweet as well. Okay, on to our 5 red wines. Pinot Noir. Remember that Pinot Noir is a red wine because noir means black in French. Maybe you've heard of film noir. Noir indicates that the wine is dark. Cabernet Sauvignon. To remember that Cabernet Sauvignon is red, with a light red or a white. Consider the things that the salmon is cooked in or served with when pairing wine for salmon. Rule number 2. Fats and tannins are friends. Tannins are what can make a wine taste bitter. They are also found in black tea. The longer the tea bag steeps in the hot water, the darker the color of the tea. Red wines also have tannins that give them the darker color. The darker the wine, the more tannin it has. Hold the wine up to the light. If a lot of light comes through, that lighter colored wine has less tannin. If hardly any light comes through, that's a darker red wine with lots of tannin. Now that we know how to recognize tannin in wine, remember that fats and tannins are friends. Would a fatty ribeye steak go better with a heavy tannin wine or a light tannin wine? Right, you would pair it with a heavy tannin wine. Fats coat the mouth, and tannins bind to the fats and wash them away so that your mouth can taste each bite as clearly as the first bite. Let's learn which of the red wines that we've covered have the most tannin and the least tannin. Cabernet Sauvignon has the most tannin. Remember that because Cabernet is as heavy as a cab. Pinot Noir is going to have our lightest tannins. Remember this because Pinot Noir is as light as a strip of film, film noir. Cabernet Sauvignon pairs well with ribs, ribeye, burgers, brisket, and other fatty foods. Pinot Noir pairs with salmon, duck, beef tenderloin, and even chicken. Yes, because like all rules, the white with white rule can be broken. Okay, let's move on to rule number 3. Pair sweet and spicy foods with sweet wines. Wines can range from having no sweetness to being very sweet. If a wine is very sweet, it is called sweet, but if a wine is not sweet at all, it is called dry. If a wine has a hint of sweetness, it is called off-dry. If it has a medium sweet flavor, it is called medium sweet. Sweet wines are most commonly paired with desserts. This isn't very common practice, so we won't worry about truly sweet wines today. Medium sweet and off-dry wines are common and go well with sweet or spicy entrees. These entrees might be honey-glazed or maple-glazed meats, spicy Thai, Mexican, Indian, or any other sweet or spicy dish that might be on your menu. If the entree has a sweet component, you want the wine to be even sweeter. The only wine that we've covered that might have a sweet component is the Riesling. Check with your restaurant to find out what medium sweet or off-dry wines you carry. A quick side note, don't pair spicy foods with red wines. The tannins in the red wine will usually clash with the spice of the food, making the combination even hotter in the mouth. Stick to white wines here. Finally, the last rule is the most simple of all. Rule number 4. Drink what you like. When helping a guest decide on a wine, always ask them what they like to drink. Take that into consideration when pairing the wine. If someone prefers light red wines to dark red wines, offer them a light Zinfandel or Merlot. Let's suppose that someone ordered a fatty ribeye, but they tell you that they usually drink Pinot Noir. Instead of suggesting a heavy Cabernet Sauvignon, suggest a Merlot, Zinfandel, or even a Pinot Noir to them. They will probably enjoy drinking that more than the classic pairing. If someone dislikes the wine to begin with, they probably aren't going to like it just because they have food to go with. Don't be afraid to offer a taste of the wine if it's sold by the glass and you're unsure whether they will like it. This is the single most important rule of thumb for pairing wine. If you follow this rule, in conjunction with the other 3, you're going to make some great pairings.